Hello guys, hope you are doing extremely well. Here in this video, I'm going to solve a problem from CodeChef Contest Starters 87 and the problem name is AB plus C. Let's get started. It is given in the problem that we have to determine a triplet A, B and C consisting of three values A, B and C such that if we multiply A and B and add C, then it should be equal to the value provided as input. And if it is not possible to form this triplet, we have to print -1. Let's see this condition when it is not possible. When x is equals to 1, the least value we can put for A, B and C is 1. Let's try with least value. 1 into 1 plus 1. It is 2. So we can determine the triplet for the least value, that is 2. And we cannot determine if the value of x is lesser than 2. So it is not defined for 1. So we'll put a check at the starting that if x is equals to 1, then straight away we are going to print -1 and move on to the next test case. Now when the value of x is greater than 2, I have managed a case when x is first case when x is 1. Now let's see the second case. In second case, I will handle all the values from 2 to 10 to the power 6, 6 plus 1. Why this value? Let's find out. What I'm going to do in this approach, that I will consider the value of a and b as 1. I can consider because it is given that a and b should start from 1 and there is no problem if I assume the same value for a and b both. So I have assumed that my value of a is 1 and b is also 1. So the only thing that I am remaining with is finding out the value of c, and it is pretty simple. If a and b is 1, then their multiplication will be 1 and there is certain value x, and I have to find value of c. Then c will, I'm taking this c in the left hand side and this x in right hand side. It will, c will become no, let it remain in right hand side only. So I will take this one in left hand side. It will become x minus 1 is equals to c. When I'm assuming that values of a and b as 1, then I get value of c as x minus 1. Simply so, I'm going to print three values, a as 1, b as 1 and c as x minus c. Sorry, x minus 1. But there is a catch. The maximum value we can assume for any of these value of triplet is 10 to the power 6, that is given in the problem, and it cannot go beyond 10 to the power 6. So the maximum value of x for which this uh, this uh, this approach will work is 10 to the power 6 plus 1, because I have taken x as 10 to the power 6 plus 1 and a it is 10 to the power 6, 10 to the power 6. So a and b will be 1 1 and c will be 10 to the power 6 and whole will be 10 to the power 6, 1 into 1 plus, so 10 to the power 6 plus 1. What if I take this as 10 to the power 6 plus 2, just one more, just the next value from 10 to the power 6 plus 1. So if I try to print the values of a, b and c through this way, I have to assume values of a and b as 1, 1 into 1, and I have already used 1 and the value I am remaining with is 10 to the power 6 plus 1, which is larger than 10 to the power 6. So I cannot do that. I will handle all the values of x separately, which are greater than this value 10 to the power 6 plus 1. In the third case, I will handle values when values are from 10 to the power 6 plus 2 to 10 to the power 12, and it is given in the constraint that maximum value x can attain is 10 to the power 12. So in this case, we can handle all these values. In this case, as we know that the value of x is going to be bigger than 10 to the power 6. So I can assume that, let's say, a is 10 to the power 6. And inside this case, let's also make two cases. 3.1, when x modulo 10 to the power 6 is 0, means x is a multiple of 10 to the power 6, and I have it is not falling in any one of this. It is x is greater than 10 to the power 6 plus 1. So let's say a is 10 to the power 6. Yes, it can be, as the value of x is greater than 10 to the power 6. And let's say it is also 10 to the power 6. Let us assume that c is also 10 to the power 6. Now I'm only left with calculating the value of this b, and that will be, as x is multiple of 10 to the power 6, and it will be x divided by 10 to the power 6 minus 1, because I will first solve this and I will get a whole number, because the value x is greater than 10 to the power 6 and it is divisible by 10 to the power 6. I will get a number, and I'm going to subtract 1 from it, because I have taken here separately 10 to the power 6 as c. And in this way I will get the values of a, b and c. By assuming a as 10 to the power 6 and b as 10 to the power 6, I can calculate the b as x divided by 10 to the power 6. I will get an integer here, and from this I am going to subtract it, because I have taken this extra 10 to the power 6 here. So I am subtracting here minus 1. Let us say we have a number 3 into 10 to the power 6. So a will be 10 to the power 6, c will be 10 to the power 6, and this b will be x divided by 10 to the power 6. That is 3 into 10 to the power 6 divided by 10 to the power 6. It will remain 3, and this minus 1, let me write it with red, minus 1. So I will minus 1 from it. It will be 10 to the power 6 as a, 2 as b, and 10 to the power 6 as c. Yes, I can assume these values as these are falling in the range, and is these values of a and b, a, b and c makes x? Let's find out. We have to multiply a and b. So 2 into 10 to the power 6, it will become 2 into 10 to the power 6 plus 10 to the power 6. If we add two number here, it will be 1 into 10 to the power 6. If we add, then it will be definitely become 3 into 10 to the power 6. I can take 10 to the power 6 common here. I can do it in another way. I can take this 10 to the power 6 common here. Let me erase this. It may be confusing. 10 to the power 6, and after in this equation, I'm solving this equation. 10 to the power 6, then it will remain 2 plus 1. So it will be equal to 3 into 10 to the power 6. Yes, it is x that we have taken previously. It is the same x. So this will work when our x is divisible by 10 to the power 6. Suppose it is not divisible by 6. Then in this case, when it is 10, it is greater than 10 to the power 6 plus 1, means it is from 10 to the power 6 plus 2 to 10 to the power 12, and it is not divisible by 10 to the power 6, that it will be x modulo 10 to the power 6 not equals to 0. Then I will assume, straight away assume, that my a is 10 to the power 6, and I will calculate this b by dividing the value of x from 10 to the power 6. I will get a quotient here from division so that I can multiply it, and I will get the value of a and b. And as it is not completely divisible by 10 to the power 6, so some value will remain. I know that x is greater than 10 to the power 6, and I have calculated here the value which is multiple of 10 to the power 6, because I am multiplying 10 to the power 6 with some quotient which I am getting as from dividing this x from 10 to the power 6. So it will give me a number that is smaller than this number, because this number is not exactly divisible by 10 to the power 6, but this is. Now for c, whatever there is extra value left in x will come here in the place of c. And what will be that value? X modulo 10 to the power 6. This will always be lesser than 10 to the power 6, as I am doing modulo with 10 to the power 6, and it will be greater than equal to 1, because definitely there is going to be a remainder, because it is greater than 10 to the power 6 plus 1, and this will be my values of a, b, and c. This will be my triplet. Now let's try to code it. Now I am putting here a for loop for test cases. So for underscore in range, I will take input in the form of integer, so int input. In this for loop will run test cases times, and in this I will for loop I am going to take value of x as input for each test case, and it will be x is equals to int input. And as discussed earlier, I'm going to solve this problem in this um, four cases. In first case, I am assuming that value of x is 1. So when value of x is 1, so if x is equals 1, I will print -1, because solution does not exist for value of x equals to 1. And if it is not the case, means if x is less than equals to, let me take a value here, m as 10 to the power 6, as we are going to use it many times. So m, that is 10 to the power 6 plus 1. When x is lesser than or equals to 10 to the power 6 plus 1. In this case, I will print a as 1, as I have discussed, and b as 1, and c as x minus 1, because multiplication is 1, and c will be the rest of the value from the x, that is, I have taken here 1, so x minus 1 will be c. And in the next case, when it is greater than this value 10 to the power 6 plus 1, in that case I am going to check if x is divisible by 10 to the power 6, that is m, or not. If it is divisible, then my answer will be like this. It will be m, then c will be m, and b will be x integer division, and it is divisible by m, so we can use division also, but we have to typecast that value to integer, because that division will return floating value. So I'm taking here integer division by m minus 1. So my answer will be like this, values of a, b and c. I've taken a as 10 to the power 6, c as 10 to the power 6, and the remaining b will be whatever the quotient is there and minus 1, because I have taken 1 10 to the power 6 here. Thus I am doing minus 1 here. Now other case, when it is not completely divisible by x is not completely divisible by 10 to the power 6, in this case I'm going to print m, then first value will be 10 to the power 6, and the second value, that is value of b, will be x interior division m, and then at last c will be whatever is left out after division, whatever is left out as remainder. So x modulo m will be here. So this is the code, and I have the test case which is given in the problem. Let's try to run it. Let's give input, that is paste. Yes, it is showing answer. I think there is some problem from where this minus 1 is coming. After this 4 1 15, it should not be there. Let me give the input manually. Let me run it once again. Let's uh, let's check for each value one by one. So let's check for 100. Yes, it is showing 1 1 and 99. 1 into 1 will be 1, 1 plus 99 will be 100. Okay, it is working. Now let's check for any other value, that is around 10 to the power 6. So let's check for one value, that is 10 3 4 5 6. It is 10 to the power 6. Let's check it out for it. There is some problem. Let me run it again. I should have made mistake while doing input. 1, then 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yes, it is showing correct. 1 plus 1 into 1 is 1. I think it is 999 5 times, and we'll add 1. It will become 10 to the power 6. It will work fine. You may try it by coding it yourself. Hope you understood the problem. Thank you.